let's get started. It is time for OS. Yeah, okay, good. All right, I want to go over assignment number 3 because in this week's lecture, your asynchronous lecture for this week is all about signals. And so I click into our course materials, we have signals and signal handling, which is your asynchronous part. And most people have had signals in your undergraduate class. You're a CS undergrad, you probably looked at signals. If not, no worries, because you'll get everything you need to know out of the Introduction to Signals video. The one I'm going to go over today is the Intro to Unix Linux Kernel. Talk about Unix kernels today. And then this is the video that I'm recording right now, which is the Assignment 3 overview video. So without further ado, I want to go over assignment number 3. Assignment number 3 isn't due for a while. It is due programming with signals. It's due on March 8th, so it is coming up. Should have turned in assignment number 1, which was due last Sunday. And then we should be working on assignment number 2, which is going to be due on February 22nd, next Sunday. And then this is the third one. So number 2 is the process synchronization using message passing. So that was a pretty cool scenario. And assignment number 3 is on signals. So when it comes to signals, you've got choices. You can write one signal handler, or you can write one for every signal that you're catching. You can write multiple signal handlers. The way you write them is completely up to you. This assignment, however, needs to be done in C. So we can't use Java for this because you can't really program with signals in Java. It just doesn't work that way. So you have to use C. So you're probably used to interacting with processes by typing and inputting them. Double clicking on icons, stuff like that. So in this assignment, you're going to have fun another way of interacting. You're going to interact with processes using signals, and you're going to write a simple program that responds to several different signals in a variety of different ways. That's where I say you could write one signal handler, or you can write 3 or 4, completely up to you. So the objective is to write a C program. You could do it in C++ if you wanted to. It has to be done on Linux or Unix so that you have the command console so that you can run the program, send signals like Control-C on the keyboard, and then have your program pick it up and do something when the signal is received. And the rest of the assignment description just goes over the behavior of what's going to happen while you're waiting for a signal, but also what happens when the signals are sent and received. So when it's invoked, you're going to wait for input from the user and echo back line by line. This is the default behavior. So you're writing an echo program. So the program comes up, the user types in hello world, and the program responds back with hello world. It's kind of like a parrot. It's going to copy everything you say and repeat it back to you, which is basis of what this program is actually doing. So you're going to create like a state machine or an endless loop, whereby it's going to sit there with a prompt waiting for the user to type something. Should be executing on a Linux or Unix machine and should be compiled with GCC or a compatible compiler. I don't care if you don't use GCC. You can use C++. You could use any compiler that you want. This is just an example. So while echoing the inputs, it's also going to listen for your signals. So the receipt of each one of the signals should cause a different response from the program. So we're going to have 3 different signals. The program is going to act differently when it receives all 3 individually. Your program should also schedule what's called a SIG alarm, also mentioned in the signal lecture that you're listening to for the asynchronous part of this week. Every 10 seconds, it's going to print something to the screen, sort of like a heartbeat. So it's going to react to these signals by counting up seconds and printing them to the screen. So it's something like tick 0, tick 10, tick 20. You don't have to do it every single second. And you could put pauses in there too, but it's basically showing you that the program is actually running. So it's just, and you can play around with the output. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. You can have fun with it. But as the program is running, it's counting keeping a counter, and this should serve as a heartbeat to let you know that the program has not crashed and that it is still running. And you can use SIG alarm to do that. So you can wake up every 10 seconds and do something. So you're gonna play around with SIG alarm, which is a signal that sends out an alarm. Well, it reacts after a certain number of milliseconds that it's been programmed to wait for. And then you're going to invoke a signal handler or handlers to respond to these three signals. So we have SIGINT, SIGTERM, and SIGSTOP. So on the SIGINT, you should print a summary of all the time spent by the program, the system, and the user, and then continue running the program. Well, you have a heartbeat going on and an alarm that's counting milliseconds, or seconds actually. So you could just take it from that program that's running. So you could save the current tick status in a variable or in an array, or I don't know, any way that you want to save the data. And then when the user presses a SIGINT, which is a keyboard combination, when that signal is received, the catcher, the catching function is going to print out a summary of the time spent by the program. On SIGTERM, you're going to print a summary of all the time spent in the program, and then same as the first one, but then you're going to exit the program. So on a SIGTERM, you're going to exit the program after you print out the time spent. You're going to have this time spent because you're going to use the SIG alarm. So, and then the SIGSTOP should print the last 10 lines of the user input. So the user input is also available. That's the echo behavior. So the program comes up, it's running. You're going to see a little ticker. It's going to say 0, 10, 20, 30. After a certain, 10 seconds, every 10 seconds. You don't like every 10 seconds, you can do every 20 seconds or 50 seconds. But you're going to have sort of a little ticker, something that's going to be printed to the screen every so many seconds. And it's going to wake up using a SIG alarm to wake up, to print to the screen, go back to sleep, wake up, print to the screen, go back to sleep kind of behavior. While that's going on, you should be able to type something in, like this is a test, and it should echo it back to you. This is a test, and that's the user input. So you're going to save up 10 of them, the last 10, and print out the last 10 when the user sends the SIGSTOP to the program. All three are generated by keyboard key combinations. Hence, some documentation exists that might help you. The signal, how to set up a signal handler, another way to set up a signal handler, or sleep. You could probably figure it out with the lecture that I gave you for the asynchronous part for this week. The whole program should be written in a single C file. We can call it sig.c. Programs in other languages will not be accepted. The beginning of the file should describe how to compile it. If there are any special compilation commands. Otherwise, this is just the generic GCC command. So ideally, you should implement the above using only one signal handler routine to catch all kinds of signals, but you can use as many as you want. There's no need to just limit yourself to one. So to this week's lecture, what's really going to help you, in fact, I also demoed a couple of, this is Intro to Signals. I also demoed my signals.c, which is a C90 signal handler program, and the signal handler example, which is sigaction.c, is doing the POSIX variety. So we have two different sets of libraries. One of them is the C90, the other one is the POSIX. Just like the mutexes and the semaphores come in two different sets. One of them was set for the original C90, was the original Unix Linux version, or Unix version actually. And then the POSIX ones extended it. So the differences between the two is that the C90 uses signal and the POSIX uses sigaction. They both do the same thing. The lecture will walk you through how to create a signal handler. These examples are demonstrated in the lecture. So that is for your asynchronous activities for this week. Questions on assignment number 3? Felt like I went through it kind of fast, but it's a pretty simple program. If you do have questions, comments, concerns, you can always send me an email message or ask me next time. So, all right, so I'm gonna stop this recording to keep it separate so you don't have to listen to everything, just to find the assignment description. So let me go ahead and stop this. Oh, I don't want to end the meeting. I'm gonna stop the recording.